Welcome in to In-Game Chat for Saturday, July 22nd. Right? Yeah, 2023, Season 17, Episode 24? Yeah, 24. It's 734 total episodes, but this season it's Episode 24, so that's why I was thrown off. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
And welcome into the show, everybody.
Clap, clap.
If you want to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. You can call in on that line if you would like to, or you can also hit us up on Discord. We're in there right now. Check out InGameChat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can find us on Facebook there as well. You can email us, everyone, at InGameChat.net. We are streaming right now on Twitch, which I haven't brought that up just yet, or at least I haven't brought it up to check out the chat room and everything else just yet. So, doing that now. But yeah, you can join us there. And there's our chat popped out. Really should have had all this done before we started, but when I thought I was ahead of the game, I was not. Did I fix the old clapboard or get a new one? RJ got a new one for us. So no, I didn't fix the old one. Cameron, oh no, yeah, that thing broke completely.
Yeah, the panel broke off on the bottom.
Yeah.
The only thing working was the clapper. The information couldn't stick on there. And we were thinking about how long we've had that thing. That thing was years. So we served its purpose. Yeah. So we got our money's worth out of that. So I just bought another one and brought it to him.
Yep. And we're still using it here. Yeah, it works absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
When I can remember the numbers and remember to put the remember to write the thing down.
Yeah, just inverted the color scheme. So yeah.
Yeah, because I have a hard time remembering that. So, or I do, I get everything ready and think, I'm good, and then I'll sit down and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do this. So today, during the opening commercials there at the beginning, I was filling out the clapboard, which is no big deal. But then when we got started, I realized that I had not, outside of restarting the laptop, I hadn't brought up anything. I hadn't pulled up the show notes. I hadn't thrown on the Twitch stuff. I hadn't done anything with it. Just kind of left it sitting here ready to go. So anyway, ahead on some things, behind on others. RJ, what have you been playing?
Still doing my season in MLB The Show for Road to the Show. Finally made it to the major league, so I'm still pitching. Had a really rough game my last outing. The knuckleball wasn't knuckling. was kept. It wasn't wavering. It wasn't wavering around like it was supposed to.
Your fastball wasn't fast. My curveball wasn't curving. Which the curveball wasn't curving makes sense. Yeah, knuckleball, not knuckling.
Yeah,
I don't know what that does.
That's batting practice. That's what that is. Yeah. So I gave up a whole bunch of hits early in the game. So it was. I just had to go away from my best pitch, and for a pitcher, that's never a good thing. When you have to abandon your primary pitch, it's never good. So all you can do is hope that your secondary and tertiary pitches are good enough to get the job done. So, but either way, you're looking at an early exit in the game. But you just keep plugging along and see how well you can just improve on the stats as best you can. Outside of that, Warframe. I got back into Warframe. Got some friends of mine together. We started playing again. We got to Neptune, I think. We were trying to clear out spots on Neptune to clear out, and it's at the point now where I'm really having a hard time doing these things solo because they start out at a level higher than I can go. My mag Warframe is up to level 30, and Hydroid is up to level 30 as well. But despite all that, with the perks that I have, doing solo runs in that, not very easy to do. So I'm having my friends are online. We get together and do what we can in that.
All right. Anything else you're playing?
Yeah, just those two right now. Yeah. And I still do have plans to restart the other games that I was talking about last week, Sekiro, Bloodborne, and probably some others from the backlog as well.
I haven't played a lot of. I have not played a lot of Destiny. I really haven't. The solstice, whatever thing, some event that lasts for 3 weeks started this week, and I jumped into it today. I did not play any of it throughout the week. I jumped into it today. I did like the little things you have to do to kind of start it. And now, everything is open for me to work on or to do and that sort of thing. But
is it more of the same?
It is absolutely more of the same. And it's more of the same that I don't know. So far, it's not hooking me. I'm a little worried that it's going to come down to the end of the event and I'm going to be like, for whatever reason, the urge is going to hit me again to like, oh, hey, we can do this. Let's finish this off. And then, grind like hell.
Usually in my case, the last time I did a solstice event, it was basically what items do you have available that is worth me grinding for?
Right.
Basically. And outfits and, specialized armor, I'm like, nope, that doesn't appeal to me.
Well, the specialized armor for this, I don't care about the look of it, although it's not too bad. I don't really care about the look of it. It's the fact that you can re-roll the stats on the armor. But you have to grind a whole bunch to be able to roll stats on the armor. And depending on the different ghost mods that you have applied, you can specifically roll for certain aspects of that armor that will give you an increase. That would be the only reason that I would do it. Unfortunately, to get to that point where I can roll different stats on armor pieces means I'm basically going to have to do the entire event. If I want to be able to do that on all 4 pieces of armor. Won't do it. Your class item doesn't count, but your class item is never counted. The class item just is whatever, but my legs, chest, arms, and head.
Yeah.
If I want to do that to get max, I would go resilience, max resilience stats, I'm basically going to have to do the event. I'd be interested to see how well those are rolling for your max resilience, to see what kind of rolls you're getting. And then I could kind of compare that with pieces of armor that I have. And if it ain't beating that, I don't need to run it.
Right.
So, but I don't necessarily know that there's any availability like that for me to look that stuff up. I'll that's something I'll look into in the coming week to see, because this is just right now. This just came to my head to do that, to see if I can figure out, hey, how good are these stats rolling? And if people are like, oh, these are really good, then I would go for it. For whatever reason, I seem to remember last year, I don't know if it was this event or one of the other seasonal events that were tied into, I don't know, it wasn't Guardian Games, it wasn't Solstice, or it may have been Solstice, it may have been Festival of the Lost, it may have been the Dawning, it may have been one of these different things, I don't know, that really gave me some good rolls on my armor to where I don't have to, like, if I just equip that armor, I don't have to worry about my resilience stat in any of them. I can slot other mods into those to increase other aspects of the armor. By the way, folks, as confusing as maybe this sounds to you, I was thinking about it in my head as I'm talking to RJ of explaining this whole thing of what I'm talking about with armor and stats. As I was telling RJ all of this stuff here just now, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to explain that. And the only reason I'm not going to do it is because it would be pointless. It is too convoluted to try and explain to anyone who doesn't already do that sort of thing. And so there's no point in doing it. And in fact, I'm probably going to move off of Destiny right now and into what we're playing.
I'll just put it in the shortest way possible. He's trying to find a set of armor that can take shots, because he's running missions that enemies can take him out in one shot. But if he has armor that is resilient enough to take damage, that's what he's going to do.
You're You're forcing me into it.
No, I said simple in one sentence. That's it.
I know, and I want to keep going with it for whatever reason. RJ's exactly right. Basically, your character has, and I don't know how many different stats are available, but there is like 6 stats.
But the one that matters the most right now.
Well, the
resilient.
thing, right? Exactly. So your armor comes predisposed with certain levels of all of these different stats.
Yeah.
And right now in the game, and has been, and probably will stay that way up until infinity, resilience is, how well you take damage or how less damage you take.
How much can you take?
Yeah. How much damage can you take? 100% resilience is like the max, and you always want to be there.
Yeah.
If just putting on your armor can't get your character to 100% resilience, then you've got mods that you can add to that armor to increase those stats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if at the base I can just equip armor and get 100% resilience, then I can use those mod spots on those different pieces of armor to get, a quicker cooldown on my grenade throw, or more mobility so that my character not only moves faster, but my class ability recharges faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of these different things that go into it. And resilience is the one that I don't want to have to worry about.
Yeah.
I want to know that whenever I put on this piece of armor, I don't have to worry about how any other build is going on. I don't have to worry about resilience. I can slot for what I need to slot for.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that this armor may be worth chasing, because you can roll it specifically for what you want. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, this is for non-Destiny people, I guess. Most of the time when you're playing the game, you'll get armor drops all the time. And I'm always checking to see, okay, how high is the resilience on this armor? Most of the time it's all crap. Compared to what I already have, it's usually all crap. So that's out there. But rarely do you get a chance to specifically target a stat on a piece of armor and go for that. So that's the reason that's only the reason that it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And again, if I can figure out, how well these things are rolling for people, that could easily sway my decision as to whether or not I want to grind this stuff or not. I honestly don't, but it's something to do if I want to do stuff. I mean, next week is the final week of different challenges, the 10 weeks of challenges. The season doesn't end until, I think, a month from next week. Actually, a month from today or tomorrow. The 23rd, the 22nd, something like that.
Yeah. Month.
So got about a month left. 3 weeks of this thing going on here. And next week will be the last week of challenges, which a lot of those challenges kind of stack. It's maybe you've got something that says run 5 nightfalls, and then you've got something else that says kill things with hand cannons and auto rifles and whatever else. Well, I can equip a hand cannon and auto rifle and then run nightfalls, and I can 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing. So usually it's best if you kind of wait it out for the last week of events. That way you can start knocking out a bunch of things at the same time.
Right.
And you can make it more efficient. Smart money would be to basically wait the entire season if you can and focus on that. I don't ever do that. It turned into a situation where if I had something on my plate, I was going to get it off my plate. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I got these challenges to do, and these are ones I can knock out. I better go knock them out. Whereas it would be a lot easier. I say a lot more efficient if I were to wait. But then you put yourself in a possible grind scenario where you only have a month to do all of this stuff. And, I don't know if I feel like doing that or not. So, who knows? Get a new raid next season, by the way. I know I could probably start stacking bounties and work on that, but I don't have any desire to do it.
Yeah.
I absolutely do not. So, anyway, Destiny is something that I have played. I played it last Sunday. I played it on this morning. Those are the only 2 times I played the game. Outside of that, I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order on my PC through EA. Apparently, I have it through EA. Not because I'm a member of EA whatever, but I have the game through EA. I don't know if I got it through like an Amazon Prime thing or whatever, but I got it through there.
Yeah, we're going through overload when you can't even tell where you got your games from anymore.
I don't even remember where I got. I know I didn't pay for it though. I know I didn't buy it.
No,
I got it from something.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus or something like that. I mean, I'm looking through every now and then. I look through my library and I look through the thing. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember buying this.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah. PlayStation Plus had to have been something like that.
Yeah, so I've got that. I'm playing that. It's not because I'm playing it on PC, and that doesn't carry over. I'm not playing it through Game Pass on PC. I'm not playing it through that because I'm still not touching Game Pass just yet on PC. Like I said, I think it was an Amazon Prime drop or something at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot of tie-ins with stuff like that. I think Warframe has something like that. Something with link your Amazon Prime account to Warframe, and you get free stuff every month or something like that. So yeah, so there's all types of sources and sources out there for games and add-ons now.
And I feel like that's how I got it. I knew I had it. I knew I had it on PC. I just didn't know where I had it on PC. There was another game I was looking up to see where Control. I installed Control. I haven't done anything with it, but I've got that on a bunch of... I've got that on GOG. I have that on Good Old Games. I also have it on... what's the other one? Good Old Games, the Epic, Steam. I have it on plenty. I haven't started playing it yet, but I have it on all of those systems there. So storefronts, whatever you want to call it. So I have been playing Jedi Fallen Order. That's the first game. The sequel just came out this year, but I've been going back playing the first one because I never played it before. And to give some thoughts on it, I don't know how far I'm into it. Not very far. It's seems to be a lot of backtracking in this game. Like, you'll go through parts of it and you're like, man, I can't get up there, but it looks like I should be able to. Oh, well, and you keep moving. And eventually you get some sort of upgrade power, something that will eventually reveal that path to you. So backtracking, I don't want to call it Metroidvania or Zelda-like, because I know that's a lot. They do that a lot where you have to go back through other things because you've got new abilities that give you access to different areas. Yeah,
just a way to artificially lengthen the gameplay.
It really is,
like that.
But, and here's my biggest complaint with this game so far. I don't mind, like, when you get to, and I don't know that this is the structure of the game itself, but so far this seems to be the path that I'm going on. I'm really early in the game, but like one of the first things you do is go to one of the Jedi temples and get a holocron type thing or something. That gives you a path of all these other temples to go to. Once you go to that temple, you do a puzzle room, you get the thing. Then you go to another planet, you fight some stormtroopers and go through it. You find the temple, you go to the temple, you do the puzzle, you do the thing. The puzzles I'm all about. Always am. The environmental puzzles, the move this ball to this little point, or turn this thing on and then make this go over here, blah, 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 whatever. I'm fine with those. I love them. The combat, I don't mind. Combat, and basically because I've put this thing on the easiest because I don't really care about being... this is not a...
Not doing it for the challenge. You're doing it for the story.
I'm definitely not doing it for the challenge at all. Yes, Star Wars Outlaws does interest me. So far, what we've seen about it, it does interest me. Not and don't get me wrong, none of these are interesting to me because they are Star Wars based. I ain't that guy. I do love Star Wars, but I'm not like, man, I am not going through this being able to tell you what kind of stormtrooper that is, what kind of nothing. I don't know. It's like stormtrooper bad guy. We that's just a thing that's never stuck with me, or at least few parts of it has. So yeah, I've never been big into the lore. The Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus got nominated for an Emmy, and so I decided to finish watching that. I started months ago on that, got through like episode 4, or not even episode 4, got halfway through episode 4, and I just stopped watching it. It got nominated for an Emmy. I thought, yeah, let me go back. And so I went back to watch that while I was exercising, because that was like, here, it'll have something on while I'm exercising. And so I watched it and was like, hey, that was nice. Wasn't great. It was nice, but I'm there for the story, but I'm not there for the Easter eggs, the callbacks, the little hints and things. I'm not there for any of that. I'm strictly there for the story. I'm totally interested in Andor. I'm not interested in how Andor connects to any other Star Wars stuff. I'm just interested in the story of whatever that show is. Love it, Mandalorian, all that stuff. But I'm just not a Star Wars guy. Never have been. Not a Star Trek guy either. Again, I watch them. I know little bits about them, and I enjoy the stories.
So you talk about the Easter eggs and little hints and things like that. How many would you catch as a casual fan of the show? I mean, how many would you miss?
No clue.
Yeah, someone would say, "Did you see the thing about that?" I don't know what that is.
See, and here's another one. I know we're completely off topic on this at the moment, but the One Piece trailer came out over the San Diego Comic-Con, which is an anime I have never watched, never seen, know nothing about.
Yeah.
Outside of watching the Netflix trailers and reading synopsis on like, this is generally what One Piece is, kind of a pirate thing. I was like, oh, okay. So I watched the trailer. I don't understand any of it, but I'm like, all right, well, I hope this goes well. I really liked Cowboy Bebop, the live action thing on Netflix, even though I haven't seen an anime.
I'll get it to you.
I already have it. I have it on Amazon Prime, but I've never watched it. But I have it. So anyway, I watched the trailer. All right. Then I start reading the thread of people making comments on it. And a lot of people are like, hey, that looks great. This looks better than the teaser, blah, blah, blah. They're excited about it. Then some guy posts like, I have my worries, and then starts listing off all this stuff. And I'm like, man, for me, who's never seen any of this, none of that means anything to me.
Right.
Because they're talking like, this guy's, why did they put a mustache on this dude? Why is this here? Why does this do this?
Yeah, chances are it's
nitpicking every little thing.
It was the same thing with Cowboy Bebop. There are aspects of Cowboy Bebop or any anime to live action. You're going to have folks who watched the anime, saw the anime, who followed it religiously. Right. And they're going to notice every little difference.
And they're going to have expectations.
They're going to have questions. Why was the change here? Does it mean anything? Or was there no one else available for the role? Right.
And let me be clear, I'm not invalidating their critique of that.
No. I mean, but that's the thing though.
But I can't.
That's who's going to be attracted to it. You're going to draw those folks. They try to do the impossible. They're trying to appeal to the hardcore fans and the casual fans.
And the casuals, yeah.
And that's dang near impossible to do. So that's been trying to do that for a long time. So good luck to you. But if you stray too far from the source material, they'll let you know about it.
But that's my thing, is like, he was listing off these things. I was like, man, I didn't notice any of that. Because I'm not tuned in like that.
You're not into it.
So it's the same way when I'm playing Star Wars games, watching Star Wars series, any of that. With the exception of like just blatantly obvious callbacks. Was it Mandalorian? There was look, I can't remember what episode it was. I don't know if it was episode 6 of the most recent season of The Mandalorian. There was a character from the Rebels animated series about Star Wars. It was Zeb. Zeb was, when he popped up on the screen, I was like, oh my God. I recognized him, but in live action form, I'm like, is that who that's supposed to be? And I looked up credits, like, oh my God, they put him in there. I thought that was really nice. Anybody else who doesn't know who that is perfectly fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But I remembered that from watching Rebels. So that was a callback I got, and that was really cool. I didn't critique it or nitpick or anything like that. I didn't really have to. They were very good at translating computer animation to computer generation, I guess, because he was a completely CGI guy. Anyway, it was really great to see him.
Yeah.
Point being is that I don't catch any of this stuff, and you're talking about, hey, what kind of Easter egg? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna know.
Yeah, you're gonna miss a good bit of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no clue. But going back to Jedi Fallen Order, and I don't know if it's the same way in Survivor or whatever, but my biggest complaint is the maps, the level design. It feels linear at first, but because of all the branching pathways, because of it gets worse. It shouldn't be this way, but the more abilities you unlock on your character, or at least the more abilities you unlock on your character that give you access to different pathways, the worse it gets. Because then you start to get, I was getting lost. I was getting very confused. The map system was not that great for me. There was a section just recently. I just did one temple or something. I can't remember what it was, or maybe I'm still doing it. I don't know. But I got so lost and so frustrated because your ship lands, you get out, you go through whatever you do. Whenever you're done, you got to get back to your ship. You can't just, there's no shortcut to get, usually there's no shortcut to get back, or at least I didn't find one.
So you got any icons on there letting you know that where the ship is in the general direction?
I mean, no. You can check your map to see if you're going in the right direction.
In game, or you have to hit a special screen?
You have to pause to bring up the map.
Okay, so there's no in-game map.
There's no in-game map.
Garbage already.
Yeah. There is no in-game map. There is if you stop down. You have to press a button that brings up the map. You can't move while that thing's going, but you can press a button to bring up the map.
I'm guessing action continues as you're looking at the map. Then, huh?
You know what? I haven't tried it during
a fight.
During a fight,
okay.
Yeah. I really, because it's like basically fight these guys off and then check your map.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over more of my so far critiques of a game that is 5 years old.
Hey, but you're just now playing it, so
I know. And we'll come back on the other side to talk more about that and some other games that I played as well. Just ahead here on In-Game Chat, we've got music from a game. Wendy's dying to play it. It's called A Little to the Left. It's basically...
Sorting?
Kinda. Yeah.
This picture's off, sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the title.
Sort of that way, or maybe you've got a nice organized thing, but this is tilted, or maybe it's not organized and you got to organize it. So yeah, it's called A Little to the Left. This is the main theme from the game. We'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. In-Game Chats. Music there from a game called Sticky Business. I don't know if you design them, but I know you're just selling stickers. You run a business selling stickers.
It's unique.
It is. There's some casuals in here. We got the sticky business and the little to the left. Some of those. So anyway, back to Jedi Fallen Order. Batman Brian said that he wanted to like Fallen Order, but he got stuck on the train at a big spinning fan. I don't know where that's at. I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't remember a train, but I don't know.
The way you described it sounds like one of the things that's it's either a clear dead end or something you have to use your force powers through to get through the fan, stop the fan and go through it. Maybe.
I've felt that way a lot about a few things where I feel like I don't know where to go. I'm stuck. This goes back to my complaint about the map design. I get that they wanted to make a lot of branching pathways and interconnecting pathways. Now, maybe when I've got everything unlocked that I can move through, that these will become easier, but even some of the early maps or some of the early places seem to... Oh, man, I was doing this last night. I was looking at an area that I could see in the game, and I thought, well, how do I get over there? So I look at the map, and I'm like, okay, so I can go around to this area. Well, when I go around there, I run into an area that I can't get through or something, even though it looked like I could on the map. I actually couldn't. Mm-hmm. The map's pretty good about telling you, like, these are locked doors, these are open doors. In other words, you can't go beyond that point. So there's no point in trying to go back there.
Right.
It's locked to you. But even still, trying to get back to the ship or trying to get back to a different area just got massively confusing for me. And I started to really, really loathe going to certain planets so far, where it's like, oh, you don't really want to go back there again. I don't want to have to traverse all that stuff again. I would love it if once you have, and maybe they do this, but I would love it if once you've, gone to a planet and done significant amount of stuff on it, that you have a location within that map that you can be dropped off at. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like when I go back to that planet, don't put me at the starting point again.
Hotspot, yeah.
Put me over here. Hotspot, yeah. Just drop me down there. Man.
Warframe did that recently. When one of their updates, they did that because every time you went to a certain spot to explore, they'd always drop you right at the entrance of the hub. Mm-hmm. When you're going out to the world. Now they got these little hot spots all over the place and say, when you want to go here, just hit this panel and you'll take you right there. Yeah. You can go all over the place. Much easier.
It reminds me of it'll always remind me of Destiny. But there was some planet we had on Destiny that did not have enough landing zones. You know what I'm saying? This is early on. Maybe it was. I don't remember.
Because everyone was always landing in front of that scientist on Io.
Yeah.
But every other place on the planet was barely anybody ever there.
Yeah, I can't remember, but maybe it was. But it was something like, man, why don't they need to put another land? And I think they eventually did, but I can't remember which planet.
Was it Mercury?
It might have been Mercury. Because
Mercury didn't have many landing zones either. You were always in front of that temple.
Mm-hmm. It might have been Mercury.
Might have been Mercury because I can't think of any. Right off the top of my head, I can't think of any other landing spots other than in front of the temple on Mercury.
I don't remember which one it was, but anyway, point being is that so far this could change. I don't know. You're talking to a guy who is just now playing this game. So far, the map situation's really killing this game for me.
Yeah.
Just trying to traverse is kind of it's kind of confusing, and sometimes depending on how they do it, like the puzzle rooms are absolutely fine, but man, I get so annoyed with some of the map layouts in this thing because I get the branching paths, and I'm a guy when I play the game, especially like this. When I see a fork in the road, I'm like, oh, which one is not going to continue the story? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is there
because
some
you
way?
Get out the way now, so because you don't want to come back to it.
Well, not only that, I also don't want to go and get into a position where I can't backtrack.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Where it's like, oh, well, you should have gone left to get the little thing there instead of doing this. But, and it's honestly getting to that point where I'm starting not to care. I feel better if I pick the path that continues the story, because I don't want to get lost. I don't want to get confused, turned around, and not be able to find my way out. So, so yeah, it's been a struggle in that regard. I don't remember. See, again, I can't remember what the general consensus of the game was way back then. Pretty good from what I understand. But I can't remember what the general complaints were about that game. I should probably go back and look at some reviews just to see if I'm on the same line as what some other people felt. Again, I'm playing it on story mode, so I'm not really paying much attention to combat, to and barely much of the story even. The characters really haven't done anything to endear me to them, I guess. Not that they've been annoying, but I haven't.
What, are they too plain, too generic? There's nothing there nothing about them that pulls you in, makes you interested in them?
So far, the story doesn't feel gripping. The whole thing doesn't. It's not pulled me in.
So far, the
visuals have. Looks great. It's a really good look, except for the Wookiees. Oh my God, the Wookiees are horrible looking.
Let me guess. Bad hair design.
Oh my God, it's horrible, man. Ooh. It is bad. It is bad. The effort's there. I could tell. It's like
they got everything. They got everything right, but the hair.
It's like, well, that's the weird part. Old Cal, whatever his name is, the main character, and almost pretty much anybody else's character has great hair, but obviously on the top of their head. But when you put a hair all over the body of an animal or a character, it's bad. It's really bad.
Wow.
It's really bad. Man, I saw the Wookiees. I just ran into them last night. I just got to wherever they were being held captive. Yeah. And I was rescuing them because we needed them to fight. And, like, you look at, like, 6 of these guys hanging out with you, and it's just horrible. I mean, they tried, and I don't blame them.
I get they tried, but isn't what doesn't animators say that the hardest thing to animate is hair? That's the hardest thing to animate?
There was no way that they were going to get 6 characters that are nothing but hair. Fur, hair, whatever you want to call it. There was no way they were going to probably be able to put that kind of effort into it. It's bad. It's really bad. Luckily, they're not a major. So far, they're not a major part of the game. They were in that section. I don't know if they're going to show up again in any other sections. And I'd be curious to see what they look like in the newest game, the sequel, to see if maybe they got that better. But yeah, that was not good.
I'm interested in our listeners' opinion of who did the best hair. Which studio does the best animated hair?
Boy,
who could they get tips from?
I mean, I got to go back to the hair on your character during cutscenes and everything else, and the hair on the other people looks good. Yeah, it really, really does. The hair of the Wookiees is bad. So I don't know. So I mean, they got it good. Except for cousin it, I mean, they can't do full body hair. They just can't. I'll give it a Google during the break to see. But anyway, that's my so far shortened little review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Other than that, it's fine. 5-year-old game. You can probably find it for $5 or less. Go for it. So yeah, what else did I play? Oh, there was something else I thought I played. Oh, the power went out on Monday or Tuesday. We had a pretty good block of the area that went dark in the middle of the day. There was no rain. There was no thunder. There was nothing. It just went out. It was about 1,500 to 2,000 people without power. Monday from a period of about, I think it was 4:30 to 7:30.
Okay, you're fine.
4:30 in the afternoon, 7:30 at night.
So it still had light, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I've been to your neighborhood a few times. Like, man, it looks like it can get pitch black.
Yeah, we got the power lines outside the street, not underground, like a lot of neighborhoods do. Not that I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think this was more of a, a problem on the grid type thing, whatever it was, or one of the power stations.
Yeah, lots of trees in your neighborhood blocking light. Yeah,
I don't think anything actually fell on power lines. I think there was something at like one of the substations or something like that. I don't know, but it got fixed, and that was the thing. Anyway, I didn't have anything. It was just dark, so so I picked up the Switch. And I was looking for something to play. I was gonna play Mario Odyssey because I hadn't played that in a while. And I was like, oh, that's a good game I can easily just kind of pick up and play. I didn't feel like playing Animal Crossing or anything. I was like, yeah, I can do that. Just something that's gonna occupy my head and my time.
Yeah,
as this goes by.
Yeah, you one of them games you just we called it back then. Turn your brain off and play.
Yeah, because because when I reported the outage, it's like, hey, this will be fixed at such and such time, and I'm like, well, crap, I got to wait.
This will be fixed when we feel like it.
It is, but they do give you a time.
Yeah, out of courtesy, I guess. Yeah, but still,
when it went off at 4:30, they gave us a time of 6:30, which they then moved back to 7. And it wasn't until 7:30 when it came back. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I picked up Switch, and I put in Mario Odyssey, but it had to be updated. But there was no internet for it to update with.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't connect to the internet to do that with. And I thought, well, so I put in Link's Awakening. And there was no update for that, so I started playing that. And I remember Wendy had started playing it and got lost or confused as to what to do in a certain section. And it was early on in the game, and here I was playing it again and remembering that, but also completely getting lost. Like, what do I got to do to beat this stupid raccoon? And you have to go get you have to find a mushroom somewhere, get that, take it to the witch. She turns it into a thing, and you can get rid of the raccoon. I finally did that, but I had to look it up to figure out how to do it. But as I went through, I was like, oh man, I like this. I really should play more of this, and I do plan to. I thought about bringing it with me today, but I ended up not even having time. As you could tell, I didn't even have the show stuff up ready to go when we started. So no, I was going to play some of it today. Maybe I'll play some of it. And I've played some more Red Dead as well. A little bit of Red Dead, some more Flight Sim, which I really, really enjoyed. Flight Sim is just fun to do, fun to play. And I think that's all. I went and looked through Game Pass and a couple of other things, but I believe that's all that I played. Yeah, I think that's it. The big takeaway from this, as we approach our second hour here, is how much I'm pulling away from Destiny, and I don't know how long that's going to last.
Till something new comes along.
Till something new with Destiny comes along, or till something new
with Destiny comes along.
So, well, new season starts in a month.
Well, new season doesn't necessarily mean new stuff.
Right. That's my one. That's what I'm wondering. Well, we do get a new raid next week, next month, whatever. Next season, we get a new raid. That's an old raid. In other words,
it's not new. Yeah.
Well, it was fun to go through King's Fall. To do that raid again, not having to do it. I'm hoping it's Wrath of the Machine, but I don't think it is. Which was way back from Destiny 1 days. The last breath of Destiny 1 was that Rise of Iron, I think is what it was. And yeah, so I don't think it's Wrath of the Machine. I don't know what it is, but it's a callback raid that they're bringing back. So we'll see.
Okay.
Oh no! I thought it was raining, but no, it's just
no. It looks
condensation coming down.
Yeah, cloudy out there, so yeah, it looks like it's going to be raining soon anyway. Okay,
but it's an old raid they're bringing back. We'll see what that's going to be and see if it holds me there. I don't know. I'm curious. I am curious if this. I'm curious. One, if this is something that's going to hold the fall away from Destiny. I'm curious if the new season that's coming up is going to put me back into it. If not, I'm curious. See, there's two things going for it. You'll get a new season next month, but on the very same day, either the same day we get that new season or the day before, they're going to do whatever, a direct or whatever it is to talk about the next expansion, Final Shape. The hype on that, combined with the fact that we have a new season starting at the same time, is likely something that could build the momentum to get me back into it again. To get to kind of refresh, recharge, whatever, to where I jump back in and like, okay, here we go, I'm doing it again.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm curious about, though, is if it will. I feel like it will, just because, as much time as I put into that game, I feel like it will. But at the same time, I'm like, you put in a lot of time with that game. It may not. You may just be burnt. You may have found that point of burnout from that game. Maybe. And I think it really hits when I stop caring about hitting those milestones, those triumphs, those little things within the game that kind of shows off, hey, this is what I did. I've realized over time, how many times do you care? You know what I'm saying? How many times are you looking at somebody else's character thinking, oh man, look at what they did? You don't.
The only time I've ever looked,
they're not looking at yours saying, oh man, look at what he did.
The only time that even matters is something competitive. Like a sports title or a fighting game. You look at a fighting game, for example, you look at someone's stats online, how many wins you got, how many losses you got. Wow, you got a 85% win percentage and you don't disconnect that much. Jeez. You're pretty good at what you do. I like to see if I can see his stuff, see his or her stuff. Yeah, something like that.
There's aspects of that in Destiny where I can take a quick glance at some part of them, not necessarily the character, but I can quickly see, hey, they've got a 10 by their name or an 11 by their name. That means they've done a bunch of stuff because they're rank 10, rank 11.
Yeah.
So you kind of know, like, all right, I feel pretty good about this guy knows what he's doing. Whereas somebody walks in there with a rank 4, now that could be an alternate character that they're playing with, or it could be a brand new guy. And I'm like, yeah, all right, we need to keep our eye on him. Might be a little bit unsure of how things are going. But some of that's good to see, but I swear I don't, all the other things that I put that effort into and I do all this stuff for, I don't look at it. What does it matter outside of your own self gratification to it, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you need that.
Milestones and achievements, it's basically for
and I think for the longest time, I felt like I needed it.
Yeah.
Whatever that what's it called? It's not dopamine, but maybe it is. It's that drip, that feed drip of like, hey, I did this and I succeeded. I got the little gold banner and this thing popped up. It's kind of like your ranks in multiplayer Modern Warfare. You get that rank up, cha-ching, and that whole noise and sound and all this other stuff.
Street Fighter fighting games apply that too. The rank, your rank of your level based on how well you perform.
It would trigger that part of you that's like, I need to do that to get that satisfaction again. I need to do it again to get the thrill of that chase. But I don't need to. Mm-hmm. The longer I go without it, the more I realize I didn't need it to begin with. Mm-hmm. There's been, and I've got other things like that. There's a game I play on my phone. It's just a simple word game, but I currently have a 419-day streak. If I miss a day, I lose the streak.
Okay.
It's not that I try to do it, but see, right now that pulls me in, right? Mm-hmm. Until I get sick. I don't do it. I miss it and I lose everything.
Yeah.
Once that counter gets back to 0 and I realize I've hit 400 and whatever, 19, how many days.
Yeah.
I won't care if I get back, I'm on a 7-day streak. I'm going to miss 7 days. I don't care. I've missed 419, I blew a 400 and ever how many day streak. I don't care about this little 7-day. I can lose that. So really, it only takes the one time before you kind of pull away from it and think, man, I don't need to chase that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way with Destiny a little bit. Destiny is part of my routine. Wake up in the morning, on the weekend anyway. Wake up in the morning, sit down in front of the computer, play Destiny. Sunday, get up, Post the show, play some Destiny. You know, raid that night, play some Destiny. So, you know, it is what it is, and we'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel it's a weird to not have that pull.
I think where you are right now with Destiny, it's gonna. I think it's gonna have to be something brand new, something that you haven't seen before in the game. But like I said, with seasons past, new season doesn't exactly necessarily mean new stuff.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah,
and in fact, it likely means same stuff you've been doing, just looks different. You know, we just put a different coat of paint on it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Iron Banner was something different or something, but it hasn't changed.
It's not,
in like,
man. It's not.
That thing hasn't changed in what? 2 years?
Yeah. And I the credit I think goes to Destiny themselves, or Bungie themselves, not for creating something boring. They really haven't. I mean, I've just put in so much time to this thing.
Right.
But it's more of a sense that, so they didn't give me a power level to chase this season. Everybody stayed the same.
Yeah.
There was no power level increase. There doesn't seem to be one for next season. That's really driven off my chase.
Yeah, that's called a goal. That's what you want to get to the top power level,
but
light
they
level.
Pulled away from that.
Okay. So what else is there?
Well,
accessories now?
Well, I guess what they've decided to do, because you would get, and we got to take a break here because we're getting there, but a lot of the times they got complaints, or at least I would see people complaining about, once you reach level cap, or at least beyond level cap, that sort of thing, you were running brain dead through the seasonal stuff and everything else. You were just overpowered. You know, you were untouchable for the regular seasonal event stuff. Now, the higher end game level stuff, like the raid or the nightfalls or whatever, that's a little different story. That's stuff you could do. But like the seasonal event, the seasonal thing that you have to do to get the story and everything else, once you were a certain level, it was like that stuff, you were just steamrolling through it, which is fine. But I think what they decided to do was, instead of increase your power level, they increased the enemy density, they increased the enemy strength. They basically put a cap on the seasonal activity and said, regardless of what your power is, you're going to be this many levels under your enemies to give you a challenge. Mm-hmm. So instead of you trying to get to a level where there was no challenge, they gave you a consistent challenge. It would always be a challenge. Mm-hmm. And it still is. Some of the seasonal stuff still is a challenge. They drop your level and they put you in there. So I think that's what they were trying to find, is not necessarily, let's not give them something to chase. Let's give them a challenge to do this with. They can still chase other things. That's fine. And they can work on their character, but the seasonal activity will have the benefits of what they've chased, but they're still going to be under-leveled so that these enemies are still going to be tough to kill. So, I don't know. We got to take a break. When we come back, we will jump into the news there's not a lot. I mean, you saw the sheet. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7, 8 stories maybe. That's it. It was not a busy week in gaming, with the exception of one, obviously, big story that happened at the beginning of the week. We're way behind here. This is music from Gravity Circuit. It is called The Theme of Cable. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from a game called Cosmoteer. It's the main theme of it. I think you're building spaceships or something, I believe. What that game has to do with. Let's go to the phone. Start to Chris. Hey, Chris.
What's going on?
Not much. What you been playing, man?
A couple new ones. Thanks to our buddy that's been advertising the new game that you started playing as well, the Road 96.
Yeah, did you play some of that?
Not yet, but I recently the bundle with it and the prequel went on sale for $13, so I've been keeping an eye on it since he's been bragging about it so much. But I did download it last night, but I'm going to get into that sometime. But I also been watching now on Mr. Prepper, and I've been playing Mr. Prepper so far a good bit today.
Oh, all right.
Mr. Prepper, what is that about?
It's like when the government went haywire and some stuff has went wrong, and the government comes and checks on your house, and if they see anything suspicious, they hire you off the jail and everything. It's like one of those things like keep under the radar situations in survival.
Okay. So not survival. I wouldn't say survival horror, but survival, but just survival, really.
Yeah, just plain survival against, in an environment world where you can't really do much and you're being monitored and stuff.
Survival deception.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, some people in chat, well, Lethal Migraine in chat and myself, you said something about a bundle package for that Road 96. There was a prequel?
Yeah, Road 96 was the first one, and then Mile Zero was supposedly a prequel to it, and they had a bundle for both of them on sale on PlayStation for like $13.
Yeah.
Did not know.
I think I saw that before. It was like the prequel involved. It was two protagonists, and it was something having to do with the police and government, kind of like a Road 96. But yeah, it looked. Chris, did Mile Zero look like more action oriented than Road 96 does? I mean, well, have you seen the promo for it on PlayStation Network?
I have, but I haven't been able to jump into it yet. But
yeah,
the Mile Zero looks a good bit different and all. But I have to just jump into them and start playing them and see. But
yeah, I mean, I'm going off of what Biloxi told us on the phone about Road 96. About it was like there was a whole lot of situations to get into, but looking at the promo for Mile Zero, the prequel. It looked like a whole bunch of stuff was going on in there. A lot of it seems more action. Like I said, it seems more action oriented. What's going on with that game?
Yeah, I really don't know. I just decided to get the bundle and just start playing the first one, and then get into the to the prequel later on, and then just check it out. Since he's been playing it and then recommending it and having a blast with it. So
yeah, I mean,
I said, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, but yeah, 13. Not bad. I think I put it in my cart to look at, but that's a sale price right now. I don't know how long that sale is going to last. Probably early to mid August, I think. But yeah, with $13, not too bad. I'd probably get a bunch of play out of it because there's a definite replay value in that thing. Especially in Road 96. So probably will be something to look at.
Oh yeah, lots of replay. Mm-hmm. Lots of replay value. So, yeah, whenever you get to that, call us back and let us know on that one, whenever you get around to Road 96 as well.
Yeah, I'll have to call back in next week when I get into it and let y'all know how it is. But, yeah, I'm planning on wanting to jump into it here soon and check it out and then start enjoying it.
Well, anything else?
Not much. Just playing a little bit of other things and then doing this and that and all that. So, yeah, not too much.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Well, it's always good hearing from you, man. We appreciate you calling in, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
All right. Well, talk to y'all later then.
Take care, man.
Take care now.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So you got to go into in Road 96 with that prequel thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that a prequel even existed. So, yeah.
No idea.
Mile Zero.
I mean, all I do is, if it's on Game Pass, pick it up. So that's it. But... yeah, so jumping into the news of sorts, which there's not a lot. Look, we talked about it last week, and what I'm going into is the whole Activision Blizzard and Microsoft thing. They're free to do it. But apparently it has now been pushed to like October for when they're going to do it. They extended the merger deadline to October. I think it's because they're trying to get to the CMA, which is the European consumer, whatever it is, their FTC or whatever it is in the UK. They're trying to win them over. Apparently, from what I understand, from what I've read, it seems like that's not going to be hard to do. Apparently, they have to write out some sort of like thing of like, hey, we're gonna play really nice, and I guess that's all. Excuse me, it's going to take.
Bless you.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Twice.
Again, my apologies. But I guess that's all it's going to take is for them to kind of appeal the decision. Since everybody else has gone through with it, everything else is okay. They've been given the go-ahead to do it.
Yep.
I think the CMA folks are just like, yeah, just go ahead and appeal it. We'll approve. It's okay. When they were so dead set on not doing it, they were so very much against like this is harming the cloud gaming, scene thing, whatever. I never understood that.
Yeah. So we expect them to let it go through, but don't be surprised if something funny comes up again.
Yeah, I was going to read into why they extended this thing until October. They extended the deadline of the proposed merger until October the 18th of this year. Happens to be my birthday. The self-imposed deadline was originally the 18th of July, which was this week, after which Microsoft would owe Activision Blizzard a $3 billion fine. It seems this has been renegotiated as Xbox Phil Spencer dropped news of the new deadline on Twitter. Microsoft and Activision have extended their agreement to 10/18. We're optimistic about getting this done and excited about bringing more games to more players everywhere, was his tweet. The holdup is, of course, to find a remedy with the CMA, which blocked the deal due to concerns. Last week, the CMA extended its deadline on a final decision to take into account a new, detailed and complex proposal from Microsoft with changes in circumstances. The CMA will now take a further 6 weeks with a revised deadline of August the 29th. The recent decision in the U.S. and approvals in 40 countries all validate that the deal is good for competition, players, and the future of gaming. That was said by somebody on the Microsoft Activision Blizzard side, not the CMA side. Given global regulatory approvals and the company's confidence that CMA now recognizes there are remedies available to meet their concerns in the UK, the Activision Blizzard and Microsoft boards of directors have authorized the companies not to terminate the deal until after October the 18th. We're confident in our next steps and that our deal will quickly close. Microsoft's Vice Chair and President Brad Smith shared further details on a payout should the deal still fail. If it doesn't close by August 29th, Microsoft will owe Activision Blizzard a termination fee of $3.5 billion. That will increase to $4.5 billion if the deal doesn't close by the 15th of September. Any termination fee will only be paid if the deal fails to close, which is why these numbers show Microsoft's confidence in closing the deal successfully. So, yeah. Yep. See, now it's over to Microsoft next to wrap up a revised deal to please the CMA ahead of its October deadline. I think that this is not going to be a hard thing for them to do. Basically, and I'll base that on the fact that nobody has really written any kind of articles or any kind of op-eds or any kind of things that say, here's the hurdle that they have to get over. Nobody's written anything saying like, oh, well, now it's basically it's as good as done, So nobody's written on that side of it either. There just doesn't seem like there's a lot of concern with this. Microsoft's going to make it happen regardless. So, but I think they're going to be able to sway, and I'll tell you why. Because earlier this week, I think it was on Monday. Wish the watch had a better calendar, or at least I probably could put a better calendar on there. It was Sunday. It was Sunday when Microsoft and Sony reached a deal for keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation once this merger goes through. We are pleased to announce that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. That was something Phil Spencer tweeted on July 16th. We look forward to a future where players globally have more choice to play their favorite games. It's not immediately clear what the terms of that agreement are and whether they are similar to proposals Microsoft recently signed with Nintendo and other cloud gaming providers. In the past, Sony has paid Activision for special benefits relating to Call of Duty, including timed exclusive content and special marketing rights. It was also revealed during the recent court battle over the deal that Activision had leveraged its partnership with Sony to negotiate better commission rates for the franchise on Xbox. Sony's current agreement with Activision was not set to expire until 2025, and the new agreement seems likely to carry through for at least the rest of the PS5's life. Microsoft has claimed all along that it is not its financial interest to make the series exclusive, as the games generate billions in revenue on the competing platform. No, they won't make it exclusive. What they will make it to is free for Game Pass members, and by free I mean you have to pay a subscription fee. But still, it's there as long as you pay us the ever how much a month, then you can play it. Mm-hmm. You won't have that on PlayStation. You will have to buy the game outright in order to enjoy it. So there's still an edge that they have over Sony in that regard, but not. And you wondered this too. I want to say you brought it up about they shouldn't do it because you get more money that way by putting it on other platforms. And my reasoning is I don't know. I don't think they would care. I think they would buy it specifically to keep it exclusive to their platform. Mm-hmm. If Sony is so worried about it not being an exclusive, then it must move, Sony doesn't get, if anything, Sony, I don't know if, when you buy a game for the PlayStation 5 that is developed by EA, let's say that, mm-hmm. Does Sony get any of that money at all? Just even a fraction of a cent of that money? Same for Microsoft.
I would think they would.
I don't think they would either. I don't know. I'm seriously asking this out there.
I said I would think they would.
Oh, you would think they would. I thought you said I don't think they would.
Even a small fraction gets something.
I'm curious. I'm curious if they do or not.
So we have to break down the money on that. How much goes to who and what?
Yeah, because it reminds me of working at the movie theater.
Yeah.
It was the smallest percentage. Like if you bought a ticket to go see a movie, mm-hmm. that was the least you could do to put money into the theater's pocket.
Yeah.
But you had to. Like, you got to buy the ticket to go see the movie, so you're going to pay that little fraction of a cent that goes towards the theater. I think it was 25 cents. Yeah. That was back when I was working in the theater. That was back when movies cost.
This is back when you had a primetime price and a matinee price.
Yeah. Did they get rid of matinee prices?
I haven't seen a good matinee price in a long time. I think the last time I saw a matinee price was when I went and saw Ghostbusters, 2016.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 1984.
That was the last time. That was the last time I saw a matinee price.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was a time when you went to the movies like on Tuesday at 3:00 because no one was in there, so you had the matinee price.
My point being is that the theater gets a cut of that ticket.
Yeah.
Does Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo get a cut of that sale of the game?
Yeah.
I don't know if they do or not. I'm curious. I would imagine that they do, whatever the case may be.
A Google search will fix that over the next week. We can see what we can find out.
But it could also mean that it sells consoles.
Yeah.
A new Call of Duty sells consoles.
The console movers.
So I'm curious about that too. Like, that's my whole thing. Did Sony want to keep it or keep it multi-platform or whatever? Did Sony not want it to go exclusive because it brings in revenue from the sale of the game, or does it move consoles for them? Mm-hmm. I was curious about that.
I pulled something up. It just said a price breakdown of a $70 video game, digital versus physical. But this was from late December of 2020. So something may have changed over time. I'm not sure, but
I got to think they do.
Yeah.
I got to think they get a cut off of it. I think everything that is sold on Steam, Valve gets a nickel. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Valve gets a little piece of that pie.
Yeah.
Or for it to be listed on their store, there may be a fee that goes into that. You know? And so to have Call of Duty listed on the PlayStation Store, there's a fee that goes into that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'm looking at, I'm just scanning over this little article I found. It's like there's a stipulation like a price, retail store cut, licensing fee, manufacturing, publisher share, things like that. So broken down to that pie. So something more than that now or less than that now. Yeah, like I said, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure on that. It makes me curious to see if that's the case and what they get out of it. But anyway, that was. That's your biggest news. That was it. There was very, very little out of that. And I mean, we're coming up on a break here, which I'll take, but that leaves us to talk about what's going to happen when this merger takes place, specifically to your PC games. Mm-hmm. We'll tell you what Ubisoft said about this merger. Apparently that's a good thing for them. And what else did I have? Oh, yeah, the old Dolphin emulator got removed from Steam. Again, there was very little that came out. Hey, Lethal, you're actually right. Lethal Migrant said, I thought Steam and Epic changed their policy last year so that they don't take a cut until your game sells $1 million. You're absolutely right. They did do some sort of change on how the storefront works as far as putting games on there and how much you got to pay to the storefront. They did. I don't remember the details of it, but they did do something like that, and it sounds very familiar. So that's a possibility as well. But it may only apply to independents. It may not apply to all games. Like if you're coming from a major publisher or a studio that employs a certain amount of people, then they may say, well, no, you got to pay on that. I don't know. There was likely lots of stipulations for that. But I don't know. But they did do something. There was a really small, quick war between Steam and Epic that was not really, a public war. It was one of those situations where it's like, okay, our split's going to be, 70-30 type of thing. We'll get 30%, you take 70, and then Epic's like, nah, we're going to give 75. They would give more to the people putting their game on their system.
It was just a haggling thing going back and forth.
Yeah. I remember that going back and forth. God, that was a while back too, but I do remember that. So anyway, we're at the break here. We're going to take that, and then when we come back, we'll hit the rest of the stories here, which, like I said, it's been a short week, whatever it is. Here is music from, I don't know if you probably haven't played this because you didn't say you played it. I don't know if you're interested in playing it. It's Capcom. It's Exoprimal. Just came out this week. It's dinosaurs and shooting things. Not Turok, though.
Not remade Dino Crisis?
No, not Dino Crisis, but it sounds like you could easily make that connection, though. Maybe. I haven't played Dino Crisis in a long time. Anyway, this is the main menu music for Exoprimal. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into in-game chat. Music here from a game called Jagged Alliance 3. The main theme from that game. Music from Control coming up to close out the show. The Migrant says that he downloaded Exoprimal. Was going to try it, but when he went to load it, Capcom wanted him to create a Capcom account to link to his Xbox account, so he uninstalled it.
Yep. That's what happened with Street Fighter 6. There was something about making a Capcom account to something else, so yeah. A hassle.
Can be. I'm not a fan of it, and I tell you, EA is very bad at it. However, they're good at the fact that once you make one, it seems like it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Universal for all their games.
I haven't had to sign into an EA account through Xbox anyway.
Because it's linked to...
Because it's linked.
All right.
I haven't signed, Every time I load up an EA game on Xbox, it automatically knows that I'm signed in, how it's all linked. And that's great, and I'm glad. I just don't ever want to... So, I mean, if it came up to where I had to do that and it wasn't already done, I'd probably feel the same way. I'd probably think, man, I'm not going to go through this stuff. I'll play it somewhere else, or I'll come back to it when I got the patience to go through that process. Yeah. I don't blame it at all. Before that was done, I remember Burnout Paradise, I think, on PlayStation or on Xbox. I can't remember which one it was, but it was before the accounts were linked and stuff. I had to sign in. Really annoyed me. It really annoyed me.
I think I recall going through something like that.
Yeah.
Signing in with something.
It really annoyed me that I had to go through that because I was like, I don't remember, because I was signing in through the console to do it.
Yeah, through the console.
Like, man, I don't know, because it didn't have it didn't save any of your passwords. It's not going to remember anything you put in. I was like, I don't even know what the email is that I use with this thing. So,
the one you don't use anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, see, the Nakuru X says the same reason. Needed the Capcom ID in order to participate in the Street Fighter 6 beta. And that's fine. Your level of, I will jump through this hoop, depends on what's on the other side of that hoop for you.
Yeah.
You know? To play Exoprimal, I don't feel like jumping through the hoop. Play the Street Fighter 6 beta, maybe I do feel like jumping through the hoop. Depending on what your interests are. Is gonna tell you if you want to jump through that hoop or not.
I would say something about the EA thing with Capcom.
Yeah,
signing up one time, one and done. Then again, how many Capcom games am I going to buy this year or next? Because typically I get fighters from Capcom, but not anything else really.
That's true. Well, Resident Evils.
Yeah, been a while since I think 2 was the last
one. But that's about it. I mean, you got your Resident Evils and your Street Fighters. Yeah. Not saying that Capcom's like, obviously that's not a one-trick pony, but still.
So they make various games, yeah.
Yeah. Exoprimal being one of them.
Yeah, but I saw the little preview video of that thing. I was like, okay, that's what it's all about. It's like, I guess, a more action-oriented version of Evolve.
Yeah. I wanted to mention I was at the store earlier. This was really funny. I was at Walmart, and I was getting some dog food. This has nothing to do with anything. This absolutely has nothing to do with anything.
Part of our charm.
So I pull and buggy into the aisle. The employee's coming down with this massive cart of whatever. He just, excuse me, and I say, no problem. It's like real quick, just like, you're good. That was it. And he stops and says, hey, are you on the radio? Uh-oh. I was like, wow. I told him, I said, you are a very good listener, because I barely said 2 words. Mm-hmm. And not in any way that I would normally, just under my breath type of thing, because it's just, whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, you really listen. So Robbie at Walmart, he listens to this show. This specific show, and he does catch us sometimes in the morning. So and I told him, I was like, what's your name? I really like, I really like giving shout outs on the air when I know people are listening, especially when I've just met you for the first time. So Robbie from Walmart, hopefully you were able to catch this. I don't know when his shift ended, and he was able to catch this. But I just wanted to, say hello, and I wanted to do that before we got done here.
Yeah, there was something about radio personalities. There's their radio voice and their actual voice.
Yeah, there is.
But I don't see the difference. Your normal voice is probably your radio voice, unless you get a little more amped up for like when you read ads and things like that. But there's some folks, they say that, tell me if this is true or not, some folks in radio business can like slip into their radio voice when they're out and about in public and not realize it.
And honestly, there's not really a radio voice involved. It's just when you put a microphone and then you can hear what you're saying here.
Right.
You're whatever, the delivery changes.
Yeah.
The whole way it just completely changes. But you can actually do that without, having the feedback in your head or any of this other stuff. You can just do it whatever. I don't think, outside of maybe being a little bit more, maybe enunciating more about maybe the only difference that I do from in front of a mic and not in front of a mic, but I think I sound the same either way.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting to me that he caught it on a very under my breath. I can't remember what it was I said, but it was just, he said, "Excuse me," and I said, "You're good."
Yeah. It's like that game show, Name That Tune.
I could name that voice in two words.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just a weird thing. Yeah. Back to the news here, because we had like 3 more stories and got 15 minutes.
Now we can do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not a big deal. Ubisoft CEO, the French guy, Yves Guillemot, commented on the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger thing. It was in an earnings call. This is what he said. "I think it's good news that the transaction can go through because it's really showing the power of IPs and where the industry is going. So there will be lots of opportunities in the future for all the companies. It's also showing the value of IPs that can now be console and PC, but also mobile, and become more worldwide brands. And when we say worldwide, it's really everywhere in the world, and that's a fantastic opportunity." He continued saying, "Microsoft is saying that the mobile part of the Activision deal is important, so all the investment we are making to be stronger on mobile is also in line with that, so all those elements will help the value of the company to grow." So yeah, that was, and when he talks about mobile, they have a new game coming out, Ubisoft does, a new Assassin's Creed game called Codename Jade. Its closed beta starts August the 3rd, by the way. So it's a full open-world Assassin's Creed game set in China and will be published by Level Infinite, a subsidiary of Tencent. So yeah. While much of Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal has focused on Call of Duty, Xbox boss Phil Spencer claimed the deal is a key element in Microsoft's move towards mobile games, not to mention the inclusion of Candy Crush, publisher King. Yeah, they also got that Candy Crush money as well. Mm-hmm. Lethal Migrant said, "Sounds like he's ready to sell when he talks like that." I know. I have... there are 2 publishers, publisher, developer / whatever, companies that I have always felt like I'm going to wake up one day and read that they've been sold. And that is EA. I don't know why EA.
Because they're EA.
I guess. And Ubisoft. Mm-hmm. Ubisoft more than EA. Ubisoft... There were times where I thought like, oh, it's got to happen now from Ubisoft. Not so much EA. I know EA is not one that I think like that with as much anymore, but I feel like it's going to happen. Which again, that's one of those things where I wouldn't have told you when that news broke that Microsoft was buying Activision Blizzard, ever how many years ago this was. Mm-hmm. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that happening. Them buying Activision Blizzard was not on my bingo card, right?
Yeah.
Which when we think about like, well, EA is probably not going to get sold. Ubisoft, who knows? It doesn't matter. It could happen. It could easily happen. And by the way, that company Tencent is, it may not be another game company. It may not be a Sony buying it or Nintendo. It may be a company like Tencent. Mm-hmm. It may be a company like, what is it, Endeavor Group or something? I can't remember what the name of that other company is. Mm. But one of these other big conglomerate companies that's not really a gaming company, but just have enough money to buy something to put their foot in the door of the gaming world.
Yeah. If EA ever loses the exclusivity with the NFL, maybe selling might be an option then.
Possibly. Mikuru X brought up Sega, which I had completely forgotten.
Yeah.
As someone that could easily be acquired. I say easily, I have no idea. And I don't know who it would be that would do it. Feels like Nintendo would be a good pick for that one, but Nintendo doesn't seem to be in the market to buy companies. I don't remember hearing of any company that Nintendo has recently. I could be I could be overlooking something, but I don't know. So it was
Animation Studios.
Sega was in Microsoft sites. We learned that from this court thing.
Mm-hmm.
That Sega was on the.
Sega has a lot of titles that that's in there that they own, but they don't do anything with. They're just a bunch of titles are just sitting there collecting dust that they just won't do anything with. So yeah, that's probably something to acquire rights to various titles they could do something with. But yeah, I just put up a Nintendo acquires, and the first thing pops up is Animation Studios.
Okay.
So that may be something they look into instead of developers, I guess.
I hate to jump back to Destiny again. That's something I wish they would do. I wish Bungie would get on the ball with expanding Destiny into other media. I really, really want even my animated series or I really want some other way.
Even Phantasy Star Online has an animated series.
Yeah.
I just remember that, yeah.
I want some other way to consume that world. Be it they don't even do books. I think they did comic books for like a limited run, maybe.
Graphic novels or
no, just like a 3-issue series thing.
The 40 page comic.
I don't remember.
All right.
And I'm not even sure that I'm thinking about it right. Myst did one. I know Myst did comic books.
Myst?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Destiny has all that.
Destiny got all that, but no book, nothing.
But no book. Myst is like solve puzzles. Go.
I know, but Myst has 3 novels.
Yeah.
With 3.5, I guess, because they worked on a 4th, but they never released it. It's got comic books with it. Yeah. It's got 5 games. It's got whatever. That's fine. But you're exactly right. Destiny has all this stacked lore.
There's even some stories in there that I still remember from years back.
To do something with. To really, really do something with. Somebody, and I don't know where I saw this. I don't think it was on YouTube, but it may have been on Reddit.
Yeah.
Some self dude that does animation or something did an anime. I think I'm sorry. They took the Thundercats opening.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow put Destiny characters in it. Not from the game. They animated the Destiny characters.
Right.
So all the characters that you see in the Thundercats opening were Destiny related. Mm-hmm. And all the objects and different things were Destiny themed. Just for that one little title sequence. That was it.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, oh man, see, this, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of examples over there. Oh, speaking of Thundercats, go look up Blundercats if you ever get a chance to.
I remember that. Be careful on language, maybe on that one. Oh, yeah. I think there were some risque humor.
Don't not safe for work. Not safe for work. So yeah,
or kids.
Go. Yeah. They'll get to it anyway.
I'm sure. I remember that, but. So yeah, they've got a lot of stuff that they could do something with, and there was talks that they were going to expand the world into animation and stuff like that. Yeah. I guess I'm more for something like this after watching Oh God, the Arcane. Is it Arcane on Netflix?
Arcane. Yeah.
Man, that's so good.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for season 2, and I keep waiting
League
to
of
hear.
Legends, right?
Yeah, it was League of Legends.
Yeah.
But man, was that good. Mm-hmm. That was really, really good. And I look at that and I'm like, come on, Bungie. You don't have to do that, but I mean, come on.
Who has more lore, Destiny or League of Legends?
I don't know. I don't play League of Legends. I have no idea what the lore is like in League of Legends.
Well, okay,
it's pretty big.
Okay, I would say, does Destiny have enough lore to make something like that?
Oh, I believe
more than enough lore to make something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at them and I was like, oh, what would they cover? Would they cover the some of the wars that are talked about only in lore? Or would they cover some of the battles that we did as players, like the Red War?
Yeah.
Would they cover that? Or would they eventually get to that? Or would they start in a would they start chronologically?
Chronologically, yeah.
Or would they just pick and choose, like, hey, we're going to tell this story from this period?
Yeah, the problem I have with the story, with the lore in Destiny is like all the little tidbits here and there I'm getting from like weapon pickups and things like that.
Yeah.
Legendary weapons.
It's
and all
all
that.
scattered about in the game.
About in a way, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I still remember that. It's a Titan. I forget her name, but her training regimen was punching mountains.
Sloan?
It wasn't Sloan.
Oh, okay.
It was a grenade launcher, a legendary grenade launcher, and it talked about the owner of it. Her training regimen as a Titan, she was bored of all the other training things, so she just went out and just punched mountains to see if she could move it. That was her training regimen.
There's good stuff there. There's a lot of good stuff they could pull from. There's a lot of stupid stuff they can pull from too. But I would hope they wouldn't do that. So yeah. I've heard that Vox Machina is very good as well. I think that's on Amazon Prime. I haven't tried to watch it, but I've heard that that's good. I know it's in the League of Legends area as well. Mm-hmm. So, and then I don't know. We've only got a little bit. Was talking about the fact that Overwatch 2 is now going to be on Steam, which is very weird because the fact that it's getting bought.
Oh. Well.
So Activision's going to go away. Overwatch 2 will release on Steam on August 10th, and Blizzard isn't going to stop there, promising that a selection of its other games will come to Steam in the future. So yeah, you'll still need a Battle.net account to play Overwatch 2 on Steam, and Steam and Battle.net players will be able to play together. So yeah, but here's the thing, once that goes away, once Microsoft buys them, will the Battle.net account still be there, or will it just be through Steam or through, I don't know. I'm curious as to what's going to happen there with that buyout. Is it all just going to stay the same? Or are they going to try to merge it all into one thing? You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the merge is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Because they're definitely going to put some of those games on Game Pass, which is on PC, but you would just need a Microsoft account to play them. But if you don't have a Microsoft account, then you could still play it using your Battle.net, I guess? Like, you own the game.
Yeah.
Would you have to then link to a Microsoft? Would you have to recreate? I don't know.
There we go, link it again.
See, I don't feel like Microsoft's going to force that on that many players to say, hey, now that we own this, you need to create a Microsoft account now. Just, hold on. Why does it look bad outside?
Clouds, rain.
It's
coming.
Bad. Oh my God! Wow, can't see out that window, but getting dark down there.
Yeah, it's gunmetal gray outside right now.
Yeah, but it's deathly blue way back there.
Okay.
Whatever tone of shade of impending doom that is. That's on the way. So, speaking of on the way, so are we. That's going to wrap it up. I can't ramble on any more than I already have. So, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat room, and thanks everybody else for listening on the stream or on the radio as well. Big hello to O1 Ella, AC Wraith, 7 Bevillet, I guess, AOK, Alistra, another TV viewer, Bama Bryan, Commander Root, Deathful, I guess, D with a 3 there, Drapsnat, Evans 04111, Kata, Lethal Migraine, Makuru X, Stephen Van Dam, Yolo Gurlio, and Ziki. God, the names.
That's one of the highlights of our show, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, I think they just come up with them for me to read them and stumble all over the place.
Yes. That's the charm.
That is. Go to ingamechat.net, and you can join us on Twitter, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and join us into the Discord and everything else. Thanks again to Chris for calling in, and thanks to everybody for listening. Thank you, RJ, for coming by. Please be careful going home. It looks bad, and I'll do the same. You guys have a good one. We will see you next Saturday. Here's music from Control. The name of the track is called Counterfeit. We'll see you next week.